It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brew York and it's a can of their Diana Voss. This is a beer that's been brewed with Olicana, Harlequin and Nelson Sauvin. Hops, it's 4.5% ABV. It's a pale ale in a 440 milliliter can. Now the story goes that they brewed this beer. They came up with the name of this beer. They thought brilliant because Brew York have got some terrific kind of quirky names for their beers. Juice Forsyth. Was it Juice Willis as well? Juice Willis. Nougat, A Friend in Me. They got some terrific names for their beers. Anyway, Diana Voss, another great name for the beer. So it turns out when they made this beer and released this beer, Glastonbury was happening at the same time, and they announced that Diana Ross, yes, Diana Ross, was headlining at Glastonbury. So it was one of those kind of moments in life where the stars aligned, where they brewed this beer, they got a great name for the beer, and then Diana Ross was headlining Glastonbury. I watched Diana Ross on Glastonbury. In truth, it wasn't very good. She's had better days, I think, in her singing career. But she's an old lady now, you know? She's an old lady. The fact is that she got up there and she was on the main headline stage at Glastonbury was quite terrific, if you ask me. People seemed to enjoy it, whether she was in tune or not. You had a look at the crowd, they were all dancing and singing and probably singing better than her. We have a 3-finger white head. Look at the haze on this beer. Good levels of carbonation. Hazy, hazy, hazy. Little bit. Get rid of this beer everywhere. Is there micro sediment? I reckon I'm going to have to get the rest of the... or try to. I'm using a Brew York glass. Interestingly, it has one of those etchings in the bottom of the glass, so it's creating carbonation. It's admittedly, looking at it, it looks a bit dull, doesn't it? It looks a bit, for a pale ale, it looks a bit a little bit dull, if that kind of makes sense. It could be looking slightly lighter in colour, but hey ho, let's get the aroma on the beer. That is kind of like, I remember drinking this. The guys from Brew York were here in this very bar. I think we started on this beer. I remember thinking, it's got a real spikiness to it. It's got a real kind of like, ooh, wow. Like it's lime. Real sharp lime aromas. A little bit of coconut maybe, if I'm imagining it correctly. But a real limey, coconutty aroma. Let's dive in. It smells really good. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, it's really kind of... It doesn't have lime added to it. It's a lime flavour from the hops. And it's really kind of on point. It's really sharp. It's really... If you get your head around it, if you can pick it out, if you can pick out that lime, realise it's got a real lime aroma to it and a real lime flavour, then you'll probably enjoy it. I remember when the guys from Brew York were here and I remember drinking it and I remember thinking to myself, I can't quite get my head around this one. I'm struck because, of course, we were in conversation. The guys from Craft Republic were here, Brew York were here, my wife was here. We were having fun. We were doing a live feed. We were drinking beer, and I just didn't have enough time to dial down and really think about what I was tasting. So I was tasting it, thinking. Of course, I couldn't concentrate with the amount of conversation going on, but I was just thinking to myself, there's something about this beer I really like. And I just couldn't nail it then. Standing here, really kind of being able to think about it and chew over it today. It's lime. Big lime flavours. It's nice. It's very nice and refreshing as well. It's not just lime and then malt and it's lime, but it's really clean. It's a really clean, lovely, tasting, drinkable, refreshing beer. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of the flavour. There's a bit of tangerine in there. There's a slight kind of lemonade-y feel about it. Maybe that's that kind of lime coming through from the hops in the beer. So the lime it's probably for me, it's either Olicana or the Harlequin. Because I've had Nelson Sauvin hops before, and that for me doesn't really give off a lime flavour. So comment in the comments box, is it the Olicana hop or is it the Harlequin hop that's giving me this lovely limey flavour? Stop in the Name of Hops, Diana Voss, a beer created, a beer to tribute to the Motown superstar playing the Legend slot. Glastonbury 2022, so okay, maybe they did know about it then. Despite our endless love of US hops in what might start a chain reaction, all of these songs from Diana Ross, we have used English hops, Olicana and Harlequin to give a stone fruit and tropical platform to the white grape finish of the New Zealand Nelson Sauvin hops, brewed with Ragnar Diana Voss yeast for extra fruit. So yeah, so the Voss, the other thing I haven't mentioned yet is it's Voss. It's that Voss yeast. Some people call it Kriek Voss, but yeah, Voss yeast. It's a very fast fermenting yeast. It will take a beer to 0 to 100 miles an hour in 24 hours. It'll probably get the job done in 24 hours in eating all of those sugars up and turning it all into alcohol. Very, very fast yeast. But what I've heard is that the yeast makes it very hot. It makes some of the vessels quite warm to touch because it's so fast. It's such a massive process going on. But I really like this. I really like it. Great head retention on the beer. I've not rocked it around too much, but it's kept its head nicely. There's a nice little bit of lacing on the glass. Admittedly, and I'm sure the guys from Brew York don't mind so much, it does look a little dull. It looks like maybe it's the colours on the glass. There's just maybe messing with my eyes a little bit here, but it looks for me it just looks a little dull. I don't know why, but anyway, regardless of that, it smells good and tastes good. So my rating for the beer then. Really juicy and refreshing. The more I've had a couple of cans of this now because Brew York left a few cans here for me. The more of this I'm drinking, the more I'm enjoying it. The first can I was like, I don't know about this, and then the second and third can I was like, yeah, this is okay. It's only really now when I'm standing in front of you guys, when I'm full beans concentration, kind of pulling flavours, and it's the lime. It's the realisation for me on a personal level. You might be tasting something else completely, but I'm tasting a really limey flavour there. If you can get on top of that, if your palate will adjust to that and enjoy that, if you like lime in beer, then you'll probably enjoy this beer a lot. I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!